Copyright 2017 Win Your Brand. All rights reserved. This video is subject to copyright owned by Win Your Brand. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this video is expressly prohibited, unless Win Your Brand has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.
Let's reconvene and let's talk about. There's two more modules on stories. So, as we described, people will buy only from people like them. Like people will buy from somebody based on their knowledge. And here's what come as your stories. So your personal story is very critical, and it takes some time to design your personal story. And your personal story will adapt and change with the audience. And the question is, why are you selling, or why are you saying with us your personal story? Why do you share your personal story?
Because I don't want them to make the same mistakes I did. No?
Not really. What's the goal of the presentation now?
You want to show them you know what you're talking about.
Or I want to sell them on my next program.
Yeah, so why you are telling them your story?
Sell them on my next program.
So you show them that you are the competent one who can offer them this program.
Because I have the expertise.
You have the expertise. You have the knowledge. How do you acquire the expertise and the knowledge? By reading.
Buying off eBay.
I love it. I wish I can buy it from eBay.
Done, just like that.
So how you will show them that you have the expertise and the knowledge? By reading more, by knowing more, by practice more, by experience more, by advising more. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So how you will tell somebody you have the expertise and knowledge? So inside your story, any story, a minimum component of any story is what? It's 3 legs of stool. Remember, story is like stool. Remember, if you are like me, don't go to the bar. Remember, we have the stool, the high stool in the kitchen. That's right. The stool is minimum on 3 steps, 3 legs. That's right. So your story will have initially pain points. Then it will have your own defining moment. And it must have your happy outcome. That's right?
Yep.
So what is your personal story which support to sell your program? Do anybody wants to share? What is your personal story which support your program?
So I have one.
Share with us.
So when I was in the corporate world as a seasoned executive, I would have some ideas that I would put forth, and they would be dismissed by a lot of the other executives as being out there. And so I would accept that from the perspective that they must know more than I do. And then 6 months down the road, they would have to go back to my idea. Although it wouldn't be my idea then, it would be their idea because nothing else worked out and my idea was the only. So I was seeing this pattern evolve. And one day I asked myself, I said, why am I getting my
Okay, so I have to stop here.
Stop here?
Stop here. So you have, the idea is to be more proactive and help people who volunteer, so to share. So one day is a defining moment.
One day, okay?
When you start, and one day this is a defining moment. So I want to stop you here because I want to say, okay, in the story you said is a very great story. In the first part, in the intro part, in the introduction part, but there was no pain point.
Well, I think
There was no pain point. All what you said in my verbiage, in my language, is I was a boss. I was working with a group of people. I was putting out my ideas. These guys don't buy into it. Did not buy into it. Did not accept it. Did not accept it. Did not do anything with it. And after some time, they figure out they are very damn wrong, and they come back and they reuse my ideas 6 months later on. There was no pain point. I can switch it around and say, and by the way, just to give you a disclaimer here, English is my third language. So I am not good in grammar, and I'm not good in anything in English. Okay. And I have an accent, and I'm proud of my accent. So I'm not doing word dismissing here, but I just want to make sure you understand it. Because I understand the logic, I can relate it in a different way. So I can start and say, when I was working with this group, I was putting out ideas. They would not accept it. They will not do it. This frustrates me. This gets me into question myself, question my ability. It got me into lower self-esteem. How many of you here is?
Okay, good one.
How many of you here
Yeah.
is frustrated because their tribes don't listen or don't share with them the same vision? Can you relate? People automatically will raise their hand. So when you articulate, like when I got this learning, unfortunately it was late in my career, because why we're doing it like that? A story is 3 pain points. By the way, one recommendation also I share with you here, if you start to talk lots of time about the pain point and you look at the audience and the audience will get lost, you can stop and say, and my third pain point is, and you say it. When you go in a long introduction of the pain point and you feel you lose the people, and say, my defining moment was, and you articulate it. So this word, we are not supposed to say it. For sure not 3D, okay? For sure. We are not supposed to say this as a subtitle for our story. Only using it as subtitle is when you feel you lost the audience. How do you feel you lost the audience? Because they are not engaged, they start to look around, they start to move, they start to look at their clock. So you start to get them back on track. So the first part is awesome, it's great, but does not articulate pain points.
So the actual emotion around that, I would have to express.
You have to express the pain point. Do you feel frustrated? I was frustrated.
Yeah.
Like you guys, that's right? They say, right, sir. So now you get them engaging with you. Keep going. Sorry to pause you.
Well, no, so let me go back. The pain point then becomes, yes, I was frustrated.
No, just to go from the one day. Like continue from the one day.
No, but I yes, okay, fair enough. So one day I realized that I was, I had a different perception of myself. I thought that I was lesser than others. And when I realized that my views really were at par or better than people around me, I realized that it is possible for me to be better than who I think I am. And it was my own perception that was limiting my growth as a human being. And that permeated through all of my things, my relationships, my ability to grow more income, my ability to feel that I can be an entrepreneur.
Okay. Then what?
Oh, okay. And then once I hit a brick wall, I didn't know what to do. I quit my job because I just couldn't handle it. My health was failing, and I came across many readings, and all of them had one thing in common. It was about perception creates reality, and so I began to create a system for myself for self-healing. And through the process of self-healing, I began to see the world differently, and I began to heal. And as a matter of fact, I was on a lot of prescription medications, which I shed. And now I'm an entrepreneur, and now I am actually touring with Hay House authors and these big authors I'm selling from the stage.
Okay.
So I'm just talking. I've never done this before. Like
Okay.
this particular.
So what we know in this business, just to relate to all what you said, I will just take them into segments and I will share with everyone. Thank you for volunteering with your interesting story. But I want to show you one thing. When you talk about pain point, people will feel negative. That's right. So you start from the neutral to the negative edge. Defining moment is where you move them to the positive side. And there is only a minima in this function. If you understand what I'm saying, because you are engineers. There is only one minima. The minute you come to the defining moment,
You have to go back up.
you should not go to a pain point. So you said one day I decided to change. And then you went back and talk about
So I went back into the
negative stuff.
Yeah, okay, got you.
So if you want to switch from, as a matter of fact, just to show you how this plays in the global scheme of things. Here, this all are positive. This all are negative. It comes to your personal story, which is your own defining moment, and this will be the challenges and how everybody is moving across. So this all are positive. All the problems you have here, all the info nuggets are negative emotions. Business is crashing, company is closing as there is no tomorrow. The sad truth is, like my new campaign is coming, sad truth is, there is no shop out there, full stop. But after my defining moment, everything has to be flourish. Everything has to be positive. So when you look at the story itself, the storyline must have one defining moment. And after the defining moment, you should not talk back to the painful negative stuff. So what is your defining moment?
My defining moment for that was just my health, my own mind. I was basically not happy at all.
And what make you to change? What does make you change?
My work, my performance was, I was not able to keep my productivity level was failing.
So usually the defining moment is a moment where you decide to change.
Right.
So you can remember back when you were sitting on the couch watching TV, where you were hanging with people, because this is a moment. You have to figure out what's the moment which make you to change. What's the moment which will keep you?
Yeah, so it was a conversation, and it was a conversation with my boss, which he reflected how he saw me, and I retorted back the response.
So
It was basically him, how he framed it.
So this is a very nice segue, because if you have a conversation with your mentor,
Yeah.
not your boss, because none of us having bosses here.
Well, back then,
No,
it's always a mentor.
it's a mentor or a coach.
Yeah.
So when I had a conversation with my boss,
Yeah.
who was also acting as my mentor and my admired coach,
But it's not true.
no, it's actually true. He's not maybe a coach, but he mentor you, because if you have a conversation to move you
Obviously.
forward,
Okay, that's mentoring.
This is mentoring.
Okay,
he cares about me.
fair enough.
He cares about what I'm doing.
Fair enough.
So the defining moment is when I had the conversation.
Yeah.
Can you make it 3D?
You mean take me through
Take them through the conversation in 3D.
so I can give you
Through his loud voice coming through your ears. Through your ear
Yeah.
cannot take more of his shouting or his loud voice
It
or
wasn't
his,
like that, but I
his
understand.
vibration
Yeah.
was in the room. That I was feeling the room shaking, and I look at the chairs as if they are swinging around. So when you talk about the story, defining moment, you should make it 3D.
Okay.
All this story thing is 1 to 2 minutes.
Right.
It's not 20 minutes. Okay, we're not in theater production. I never have education in theater production, by the way. We are not in cinema. But the story need to be engaging. People will engage with 3D.
Right.
Divorce story and separation story are very simple. They always sit on a couch or sit on the dining table or sit on somewhere, and they see stuff going around. Conversation story is a little bit difficult, but you can tell them, I can even feel the pressure, the temperature. It was really a hot discussion. I can feel it. So you should be able to make it 3D. Sitting on your own in the couch, thinking about things and watching movie, and then, you know what? I feel it. It was like the fireplace was going up. It was very cold outside, and I was really warm. And said, why I'm sitting here doing that thing? Just the question came to my brain, and I didn't know what to do. So I went, and what did you do? So part of here is your personal journey. what did you do?
Well,
And your personal journey, you remember, we have no visualization. We have no visual assist.
right.
So your personal journey has to show that you did steps and details. So what did you do? I went through a discovery mode where I looked around, I looked at applying, I found different courses have been offered. I found this hard math course, I went through it, I found it very interesting concepts, however, they are not really applicable to me, so I had to customize them. And when I start to customize them and merge them across different techniques, I start to see myself as a better person. And to be much more better than what I am, I decided to teach people
Right.
and go and train others, because I like to get people experience whatever it is. Okay.
No, that's actually bang on, because that little thing that goes above it is, and I used this experience of mine to recognize when a business owner was going through a similar thing that I was, as self-doubt, self-respect, because his business partner was telling him how.
But remember that the word recognize is a very hard word. It only works with people like Mike who likes the process.
Okay.
In feelers, who are most likely your audience,
Yeah.
they don't recognize things. They feel it.
Okay. So,
I felt it.
so you mean it's sense?
I sense, yeah.
Okay.
So the people who are, because she's a little bit feeler, she came with the vocabulary sense.
Sense.
You see?
Okay.
I told you about the story when I met this lady from BDC. I didn't see her for 15 years. I could not take more than 5 minutes. She is basically processed, very factual. She doesn't have a life. When she will retire, she will suffer, because everybody in the bank will not be around her. And majority of people who get depression after retirement because they don't work with the same environment, they have different class of people with more feeler. They don't understand them. They cannot take them, and they are in an age level they cannot adapt to changes. The changes is not to go to work. The changes is you don't communicate with the same
Yeah.
mindset.
Yeah.
You feel comfortable.
Okay.
So what you should do, or if we had more time, what we should do is each one of you should craft a personal story, and you should come here in 3 minutes or so, articulate the personal story, and then we can give you back some feedback based on this knowledge. Okay?
I have a question about the nuggets. So with the nuggets you do stories, but you don't have a defining moment?
You have a defining one.
Yeah.
Each story will have these 3 things.
Yeah, so the same way. Yeah.
Same way.
Okay.
Okay? By the way, the personal journey is not in the list here. So
I was gonna ask you.
if you want to go in section 9, you may want to insert 9.4.1, which is the personal journey. Or sorry,
Now-
9.5.1.
Now, isn't the personal journey can be part from the story itself? Because you are telling a story, but now this story it's about yourself. It's not about a character that someone you know or from
Yeah,
your
you are
image.
telling them why you are the expert who can talk about this topic. So if you have,
Oh,
that's right.
okay, yes,
You got it?
yes.
Okay.
So it's something in the beginning should be.
It's after the title.
Yeah, to create the credibility.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Now, the other legs of the personal story, there are 2 more legs which is very fixed. And I have them here at the end. After you articulate your happy outcome, you will say, and from my experience, I developed a system, or what did you do from your experience? And then, and I developed a step-by-step system too. And this is where you conclude your story. So the personal story may have 5 to 6 legs. It takes about 3 to 5 minutes in a 90-minute presentation, while the other stories will be 1 minute to 2 minutes.
this is just the personal story part. in
This
that
is just the
sequence.
personal story part, which will come after the title.
Okay.
So remember, because I know some of you got confused, we have a basic sequence. This is a basic sequence. There are missing few things which we did not share yet. So once you have this sequence, is great. The second level, to make it a little bit better, that you need to have, this is level 2. So this is level 1. So after you come up with your information nuggets and title and who you are only, what's your name here, that's it. And you have the table of content, whatever, you can have here your personal story. And then you can attach to each one of these testimonial. So this is the second layer of perfecting a presentation. There is a third layer, a fourth layer, and so on. One example of the third layer, of layer 3, that you will need more stories to adapt to different environment. So if I am in northern Alberta, I have to talk about client in northern Alberta. When you go to Toronto, you have to talk about clients in Toronto. When you go to Halifax, you have to talk about clients in Halifax and the area. Do you get it? If you do accounting and you go travel around, you need to have the accounting with relevancy to the location, because accounting may be different from different provinces. If you have people like indigenous, you may deal with indigenous people. If you have like, I don't want to call it tennis players, but if you have like tennis players, if you have a speed skating, can you tell a story here about speed skating while your audience are tennis players? You can't. These are cold, these are hot and warm. That's it. For instance, in shorts, speed skating is cold, that's right.
So if I understand, testimonials don't come anywhere above the personal story.
No, it comes only in the
In
challenges.
the positive area.
And yeah, because testimonial is a good outcomes.
Yeah.
And so you don't read the testimonials either. You tell them. So
You tell them the testimonial story, which is a 3 quick pain point,
yeah.
a quick defining moment, and you expand on the happy outcome.
Okay. Okay. So I have a question.
However, if you have a video assist, you can actually play the video testimonials. And you have to go back to your clients and customers and audience and tell them, ask them questions. What problems did you suffer before, or what problems did you have before joining my program? Can you illustrate 3 to 5 in a complete sentence? I will record you on video. Go now. Please remember, it's a complete sentence. So when people come and say, before I joined this program, I was suffering from 1, 2, 3, 4. Question number 2, what make you decide to join my program? Please, incomplete sentence. Oh, when I met you, when I saw you on the stage, when I met you, when Jem told me to join your program, it's actually an awesome thing because somebody is referring them to you. It's an awesome thing. Thank you very much. Question number 3, what did you achieve? They will not understand happy outcome. What did you achieve? What my program help you to achieve? Where you stand right now? And in complete sentence. So any testimonials you read anywhere does not have this structure, is not a good testimonial. Like when somebody say, oh, this guy is really great, you should use his service, thank you very much. It's not a testimonial. It's not a functional testimonial. Do you get this point?
From these last two, and from my experience, and I developed a step-by-step program. Now I am part of a program, like an international program, so I haven't developed it myself.
You decided to offer it.
Do I decide to offer it?
To offer it.
Okay.
Remember, these are templates. This is not
No.
like
Cast an iron thing.
no. This is not. This is just a template. This is just what people expect to listen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say, like even here we have a service now, which is I believe is up now and running, which called, if you have the script written in writing, please submit it, and we will do a complimentary assessment. It's actually a text. It will send an email to one email, and you will be able to get assessment. If you don't want to write it, stand in front of your phone, record it. We will not give you feedback on the recording. We will give you feedback on the wording of it. So this is also another thing which is after every story, every testimonial, every section, you have this particular, and this QR code will go directly to this link, and the one in the bottom will go to Win Your Brand only. So I'm encouraging each one of you to at least try one. Send it over, and we'll get back to you and show you, or just have it create a discussion. And believe me, the discussion here is better than going on the stage and people don't relate to it. That's right. At least here you know what you are doing is correct, acceptable, or not. Do you agree on that? Okay. Sorry, Marcel first. Sorry.
Just one more question regarding the first sequence after the hook with the three nuggets and the attached stories to that. Because you mentioned that there's mostly negative in the beginning until you get to your personal story, and then you switch. The stories still follow.
Yes.
Still follow the same pattern, like pain point,
Yeah.
defining moment, and happy outcome.
Yep. Yep, they still follow the same pattern, but usually the pain point in testimonials are very short, are not long. I was struggling, I didn't know what to do, I joined. But you don't elaborate, there is no elaboration on that.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So let's go back to the flow. So the hook, you said start off with the hook, the main idea, and then you said substantiate each info point on your hook with a story, question, stat, or video, right? So there's a
No, the question is that
client story to each of those.
the question stat or video is in the hook.
Right. But after that, in info nugget 1, you said follow up with the client story.
With somebody's story, not necessarily a client, but somebody.
Right, somebody's story.
Yeah.
And so you do that for the
No.
2 and 3.
Yes.
And then you go introduce yourself.
And
then
you
your
want to
personal
say
story.
why you are an expert. So your expert will come from your personal story.
Right, why you're the expert.
So this is your personal story.
Okay.
So that's right. So if you go to exactly
And then we talk about the tagline about repeating about the info. And then we go into the power of our own personal story.
no, you talk about the table of content,
Yeah.
and then you have the challenges after the table of content,
Okay.
and each one of the challenges has a testimonial to it.
Each one of the challenges of a testimony.
Yes, except the last one, because the last one was you. That's right.
Okay, so where do we interject the power of your story? Of
Here.
our own story?
Here, after the title, who you are, which is 7.8. I am the best one to speak because of your personal story.
So 8 really should be 7.8.
No, 7. On page 7,
Yeah,
there is a section 7.8.
right?
So 7.8, it should be coming from your personal story, which is number 9, which is section 9. Which is section 9 on page 11.
I'm done.
Do you get it?
No. Let's move on.
Okay.
Another question I have.
So,
Oh, sorry.
so personal story is section 7.9. How to structure the personal story. Each one of these stories is section. Each one of these stories is section 8. Personal story is section 9. Testimonial is section 10. And your offer here is section 11. Okay?
So do you really say I am the best one to speak on this title?
No, you tell your personal story.
Okay. But you don't lead in with that sentence.
No, you don't lead
know.
with this sentence.
No.
The sentence which you lead when you will find it will be capitalized. But this is just to create a template for you
Yeah.
to put your. Did you get it? So this level layer 1 is section 7. 7.1.2, whatever it is. Okay? When you come to how you structure these stories, you understand the structure from section 8. How to structure the personal story is section 9. How you structure testimonial is section 10. How you structure your offer is section 11. And this is the second revision of your presentation. And to take all of this learning, read through it. I will put the videos out so you can have access to it. You need to practice this as we practice them from our heart. If you cannot resonate with some of this material, it's great. Resonate to something else similar or replacement for that and do it. I'm not telling you move in these steps step by step. I'm just showing you what you can call it best practice. Know the rules, then break it. Can I move on to testimonials?
I have, of course.
Yes, sir, sure.
Now, the way how I understood from this course outline, testimonials, they are also a story, but narrated by a third party.
And we are going to testimonial right now.
Oh, you still didn't do
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, since I started, let me finish. Okay.
No, just to not confuse. I'm going to section 10 right now. After we're done,
Oh,
I will move
okay.
to section 10.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned three things earlier about testimonials, about the questions you want to ask your clients to give you testimonials. The first one is, what were your challenges before you took my program?
Which is the pain point?
Pain point. The third one was, what have you achieved as a result of the program?
Yes.
I missed the second one.
What make you decide to join my program?
That's defining one.
This is the defining moment. Or any kind of verbiage around that. Like, don't take the exact context, the exact syntax. So for Rob, for example, he will say, what make you choose what make you choose our product against competitor in the market?
Right. Okay.
This might be relevant to Rob. What make you choose our products? That's right.
Yeah, it's obvious. It's cheapest.
That's okay. Coming to number 10. Number 10, we talk about testimonials.
Everything for life.
So the question is, why are you telling a testimonial? Why do you have testimonials? Many of us will have testimonials on our website. Why do you need to have testimonials? Because you need to show similar social proof in an easy way. You need to show a client who has pain. There are somebody with similar pain points. I was able to help him solving this pain point. That's right. So I need to show the client or the audience that I was able to work with somebody with the exact pain point. And I was able to help them move forward and excel. So you will need testimonials relevant to your audience. So how many testimonials do you need in a 5-challenge presentation? You need a group of 4, and it's a function of how many different segment of audience you need more testimonials. So when we say you need a set of 4 testimonials and 3 stories or 4 stories and 1 personal, is not true. You need to have as many as you can from stories and as many as you can from testimonials. Otherwise, you will not relate better to your clients. So once you know the audience, you need to tell them testimonial based on them. So for example, if you have audience of builders, you need testimonials from builders. If you have audience of contractors, you need testimonial from contractors. If you have audience of project management engineers, you need testimonials, some project management, some engineers. If you have athlete or you have stay-home mom, you may want to offer this to stay-home mom. You need testimonial 1 or 2 or hopefully the 4 from stay-home mom. If you have a testimonial of what? Taxi driver, you need a testimonial for taxi drivers. You have a testimonial of wherever you are. So what's the structure of a testimonial? Is no different. The pain point, you don't need really 3D defining moment, but you need a defining moment, and you need to show the happy outcome. And the happy outcome means what? Means you are the one who can give them similar service. On page 14, you have a little bit of layer 3. Because layer 3 of your own presentation it has something to say, do you relate? Or can you relate? What does it mean? I'm giving you a testimonial. Success story of me with another one who is not you. Other similar to you, but is not you. And I'm asking, can you relate? Do you relate? What does it mean?
To the pain.
No.
Myself.
This question means you as a potential customer of mine agree on principle that if I take you through your pain point, cross your defining moment to sign for me right now, you will achieve what? You will achieve the happy outcome,
Yeah.
which an automatically verbal agreement to join what?
Program.
To join your program. So I meant to draw this here because I want you to understand that this is the third layer. In the third layer, do you relate? Do you relate means what? And you cannot do it in one time. Believe me, like I understand, I love Mike when he said I'm confused. I love it because I want to tell you one thing. If you want to design this right, you cannot start with the whole thing. You will get confused. You start with the very first one. Can you find a couple of hooks? 3, 4, 5 statistics. Google it. Look at Bing. Can you have a power story? I hate power story here. I hate them. To be honest with you, it doesn't make sense.
What's power story?
The increase the story which you want to start as a hook because when you're sitting there,
Oh.
you are here a new person. I know, but when you're sitting there,
You graduated.
no.
Yeah.
So when you start with a, if even you want to start with a story, what is the first thing we recommend in a story? Why you are telling us the story, which will relate to the information nuggets. That's right. So if you want to tell a story, if you want to start, you start first finding hooks. How to find hooks? Straightforward. Look at the product sheet. Find out your pain points. Figure out what statistics or what material around these pain points. It's a very mechanical process. It doesn't take much. It just takes from you commitment of time. And by the way, nobody can do it for you. If you have these hooks, if you have the information nuggets, if you have the stories, I can take it or anybody can take it and can craft it better for you. But nobody can look at a business and say, oh, I can give you hooks here. It doesn't work like that. Your input is very important. So you design it in this layer, and then you come and say, okay, what type of stories can I say here? You have in section 8, you have the structure.
Forget it.
What's my personal story? How to make it powerful? How to come from I say, I am the best guy to do this, to a big story. You have the story here. Then you can have your testimonials, which you bring it. After that, you need to build another layer of engagement. Do they agree on the story? Do they relate to the testimonial? If you agree on the pain point, if everybody here has the same problem, how many here has the same problem from the info nuggets? People will raise their hands. Do you relate to my testimonials? Yes, yes, yes. It means what? You are standing in front of your audience who have the same pain, and they agree that you are the one who can solve the pain for others. What else is required? From a logic or a feeling that they should automatically sign up for your program.
That means if you have like 4 testimonials, you feed in the verbiage for addressing the 4 decision makers again? Like feeling
Yep.
and that they're
You have to observe, and the reason, which we couldn't have time to do it, the reason to have these color boxes in front of you guys, because when you're supposed to write this information, you go back and label each one of these with a color. And go in your verbiage and highlight which word trigger these colors to make it more relevant to a broader audience. But we are not doing. I prefer to get you through a full sequence, because if you have a full sequence, you are halfway there. Do you agree on that? Better than just focus on one segment, which you will not be able to use it. Now you understand. You have the workbook. You have the material. You have a follow-up. If you are interested to follow up, you can send us the stories, and we can show you a few things of what we do. I want to spend the last maybe 10 minutes on what is the missing part right now is the structure of an offer. So what do you offer as service?
What's a level 3?
Level 3 is more engagement. Is the green one here?
Yeah.
This was more engagement. How to make the stories more related to the audience. Okay? So you are maybe 3 to 6 weeks away from level 3. If you work on this every other day or every week, you need to. So now I want to ask one question. What is your offer? Can somebody propose an offer? Other from the people who are talking all the time? Jacqueline, you want to get an offer?
That was a subtle way of saying Shamir, zip it.
Like what I would offer?
Yeah. What would
like
be?
my mastermind offer?
It can be your mastermind offer.
Well,
It can be anything. Like, what is your offer? Max Mastermind is great.
like dollars? Is that what you want?
Sorry?
You want dollars?
No, I just want to know what's this mastermind. So our offer is a mastermind.
Yeah.
Okay? So this is our offer. Everybody agree to work on an offer mastermind? Somebody wants to work with something else? Okay. So to structure an offer, you need to understand that people will need to go through a different skill sets of presenter, which talk about sales and the closing deals from the stage. And we had a complete one-day workshop on it, and 2-3 days follow-up on it. This is very 54 pages book. I still owe you a book. And it's a big story to be selling. But this is a complete different swing from you are information knowledge teacher. You tell them you are a service provider. Now you want to position an offer in front of people. So the offer usually you have a basic offer. So what is your basic offer? It's a mastermind. What is the value of this mastermind? And you can fill in with me on page 15. So what is the value of your offer?
Well, as it stands right now, $350 a month.
This is the investment in the offer. This is not the
Yeah.
value of the offer.
Okay.
Okay?
Value is-
So what is the value? There is a difference between cost.
Okay.
We don't like to use the word cost. We don't like to use it cheap. It's called cost effective.
Yeah.
Cost means investment.
Investment.
So these are some trigger words. You don't use it. I'm not here to buy cheap stuff.
So when you talk about value, is it I'm attaching additional value to everything that's offered?
If I just go through your basic offer, what value in dollars I will get, I will benefit from. And by the way, just to give you disclaimer here, everybody around this room is doing mastermind. I call them working groups because I hate masterminds, okay? But everybody around this room, if you do group coaching, you will be doing a form of mastermind. Do you agree?
Yeah.
So each one here, so you have to agree that if we talk right now, many people can run away with the ideas, with the numbers, with the stuff. So people have to be open for that. We are here in a sharing to understand how to make a group, which is basically weekly meetings, monthly meetings, whatever. So what is the value attached to this offer? It must be a value of what is your time invested. What is the value? If you give me 4 hours of your time, what is the value for that? $1,000. Can you justify $1,000? Can you defend it? Great. So the value of the offer is $1,000.
A month.
A month, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think that's
You have to how to articulate the value.
Okay, yeah.
In the layer 4 of the presentation, you can go back, and in one of the testimonial, you can say this client, when she approached me, she approached me for one-on-one. However, I charge $1,000 a day for one-on-one. So she joined my working groups, and she got the exact same communication and same value. She took advantage of everything. And instead of she pay me $10,000 for 10 days, she paid only a fraction of that. And you keep going. That's why these sequences has to be also feedback. Like when you start to go through, now how you see this number back. Okay? Don't get overwhelmed, guys, because if you can master 20 to 40 to 90 minutes presentation, you can create a multi-million-dollar business over the years with it. This tool is not. I decided to reveal all of this information because there is no value in the information. The value in how to apply, and this is where we make the money. But everybody deserves to know. Everybody know now. If you go and see these presenters, you can say you are not professional enough. Thank you very much. You did not invest in yourself. So you need to articulate this value, and you need to seed it. I use $5,000 a day, because if I go to keynote speaking, I will charge more than $5,000, including travel and stuff. So if you stand and say my day is $5,000 because I spoke in this particular conference, and they pay me that much, people say, $5,000 is too much for a day. He may have a point because he was there on the stage. I see the image there. You have to understand how to justify. The second step after the basic offer is what benefits people will receive. So what benefit people will get. So I'm here to offer you a basic mastermind, which is 4 weekly meetings or 21 days changing, whatever it is. And when you come to this, you will receive the following benefit. What are the benefits? And the benefits will come from your sheet here, because here you have the benefit. That's right. So this sheet is very critical to do. What's the benefits of my mastermind?
Well, one of my pain points was, being stuck, right?
So one of the benefit is,
being unstuck.
what do you mean unstuck? Marianne will tell you, is not heard. Can you tell her? Can you tell her?
Yeah. The mind doesn't hear, don't know the no, and also not because it still sounds like stuck, but here stuck.
God,
Achieving your purpose.
yeah. Well, I said clarity, but you
Yeah.
didn't like clarity.
That's good. What?
You didn't like clarity? Like what the
No.
hell?
When we met, you didn't like clarity.
Just you figure out the benefits.
Right. Okay.
Then after the benefit, you say, and what will you get is, and you articulate the features, which is section 11.3. You should articulate 3 to 5 features. What is the features? And you will receive 4 hours one-on-one meetings. You will receive a workbook. Most importantly, you may receive a VIP membership to our website, which will give you 24/7 access to unleashed, unseen before transformation. If you don't feel it, you don't believe it, you cannot articulate it, sorry, ma'am, I cannot see how bright you are. The lamp will emit a bright light for us to see the brightness of it. Have you ever seen a dim lamp and you say this dim bulb is really bright? No. Think about it this way. If you cannot feel high, if you cannot articulate, if you cannot position what you feel, people will not give you the credit for it. Even when you say I'm great, you know, "Oh, I'm not sure." People will say that, that's right. So when you talk about features, you say, what are the features? And here we'll come to a point. Why every coach, every speaker, every consultant must have an online tool? Must have a recording. Why?
So you can give it away as a feature or
So you can increase the value here of what you have. Why each one of them, each one of us must have a book and the e-book and the B book and the M book and the Z book and the A book and all kind of books?
You can give away a whole package full of them.
Because I will show you, you need these things. You need them. They are must. They are necessity of the business. Because this is a business. This is not a, I know some information I like to help people. This is a business. So you should be able to articulate some features. In this product sheet, and you had the product sheet with the partner. If you want to get a partner, this product sheet for only the product. And you have also another bigger sheet for in our product events we do where you can go through more features and shrunk them and position them and all kind of things. So, but you must understand these are features and there are benefits. Then after what people will get as a feature, what you will get, because we are in this event, you will also receive some extras. What other features people will receive?
Maybe discount for another program.
Discount is one feature. I'm not disputing that. So you should go in 11.4 and list 1 to 3 extra features. Why we always say 1, 3, 5, and 7? Because somebody in Walmart, before they go out of business, they will go out of business eventually. Okay, everybody went out of business. So Walmart made a study. They found out that people will relate to odd number better than than even number. However, people coming from UK, they use the concept of 4x4. So anybody is making websites, making marketing material from a European standard, they always have even numbers. They always have 4 things. People in the North American style, 1, 2, 3, 5, and 7, because they found out by testing and doing studies funded by Walmart, people will resonate better to odd number, smaller than 9, and 1 is very few. So you must have 3, 5, and 7. You have 2 and only 2 in your life, it doesn't matter. All what you need is extra. What we say is recommendation, is rules, is best practice. Know it, break it, but you break it and make a decision. It's your program, not mine, okay? So this is what the extra and this is what the offer about. Now we have to ask, you should overcome objections. So the question is, how you can proactive overcoming objections. Under 11.5, you just write C section 12. Because I will come up with how to overcome objection, which is in section 12. Then, what's objection? Objection is why people don't want to buy. That's right. Then in 11.6, you need to repeat all what people are getting back. And then you come to the point which nobody likes. Your investment today, so your total value to what you will get is, and your investment today is.
So just the total value you would, in the case that we cited, would be $1,000 a month.
No, 1,000 for the basic offer,
Yeah.
for the basic feature.
But is that the first thing?
No, the basic feature was 1. Then you have the extra. Then you have the features.
So you add all of that up.
Yeah, you'll add all the values.
Total value could be $11,000, right? With all of the stuff that she's gonna throw in.
Wow.
Now, will this resonate with your
Sign up right now.
will this resonate with your audience or not?
At
You
11,000?
put it in practice.
Sign them
The
up.
value.
Sign them up.
You put it in practice. By the way, if I take your business where you are right now and I help you making $100,000 a year, in a year, how much you'll invest in that? If you go back and correlate to what we did in school, we invest between $250,000 to $500,000 in 4 years of education for getting a $50,000 income a year. And if people said we did not go to 4-year education, went only to 2 years education, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So if somebody understands the business right and have the confidence that this can move themselves forward, we are not talking in this business of $100 and $1,000. We talk about this business that you will go out there tens to $20,000 to $50,000. As long as you do more presentations every month, you can easily get $10,000 to $20,000 to $50,000 a month. There is no question asked. And there are people around this table without revealing who they are. They were able to see that. When they went with this knowledge in 3, 4, 5 presentations, they were able to get these numbers. It's not hard. So this is a different set of knowledge. You have to consider this when you do about value. If you will help, ma'am, if you're helping a business from being struggling to breaking even, and in 2 years, they will make $100,000 to $1 million extra profit. This is what you promise. How much will you charge them? This is a question.
Oh, you want an answer then?
We need ideas. We need ideas, because this is what people miss.
Probably 20,000.
Okay? So you need to understand that when people see the value here, so you told me what is the value. The value is very straightforward. If you move me from a divorce to continue marriage, it's a priceless. If you take away somebody to keep his life with his kids without divorce and without damage of his life, it's priceless. It's a priceless. So when you talk about what's the value is not your hours only. The value can be what's in it for the customer. If I get you through this, I will help you saving more employment. I will get you more efficient employees to work. You will not hire more people, and you will use the same people right now in a better way. I am saving about salary of 5 to 10 people a year. How much is for you? So when you talk about value, you have to think through, see through what you do, and you see what's the impact, what is a happy face will look like. Okay? So when you talk about the value, you talk about the initial offer, the total investment, which basically cost, okay? Forget about investments, cost, okay? How much money people will pay. Then you need to give them the discount. So what is the discount people will receive because they are here right now? And then you can make it more sweeter with a further discount. And you can do it in section 11.0, 11.10 and 11.11. You can even do it more sweet and more sweet. How you do it more sweeter? By giving further reduction or add more features. Oh, and by the way, you will also get my DVD, a copy of my MP3 audiobook. So when you have a book, there is a package I can show you for free. You can make it an audiobook. Why do you need an audiobook? Because you need to have sweet. You need to have sprinkles on the cake. Okay? Then you must have the scarcity and the urgency. So you talk about today only. It's offered for that much. So when you talk about today only, you can have some ads-on feature, which is limited access right now. And then you can come and say, the first 3 who will sign up for my program will also get this. So there is a speaker in town called Laura. I don't remember her last name. Laura Langmeyer. She has like a Monopoly game, but like a money game. And she brings it and she has only one, and one only. And you say the first one will sign, will get this game. And interestingly enough, that's in the last 3 or 4 events she has in town, there are people actually sign up in her program before she goes on the stage. So she makes sure that her money is paid to get the game. So there are people who are holding not to sign up. So they go in the first event before at the very beginning, oh, we want to sign up. Wait for the presentation. No, we want to sign up because we want the game, which is very interesting. So when you create this 3 rush or 5, now is it 3 or 5 or 1 based on the number of the audience. So when you go in front of audience, you have to make sure you predict percentage of this audience who will join in your program. So if you have 100 audience, you predict to have 20-30% of them will sign up. You need the first 3, the first 4, the first 5, the first whatever will come and get this particular extra things. A good thing to use, it's a 30 minutes strategy session. Because if somebody will spend with you a 30 minutes, it means what? He wants to come, he wants to join, he is more suspect to be in enrollment model. And you can use your time, it's your time, so it does not cost you much. When you be in the level where you can have a special game, a special card, like we do have this winning card, we give it sometimes. This winning card, it has nice winning quotes on it. Our VIP in our 3 days workshop will get it. Sometimes we say, okay, the first ones will get few of them because when people practice them, it's $30, it's not a bad thing, So we do these things to create urgency and to get people to enroll in the program. Does it make sense? Any questions? We are right now 5 minutes past 4. Do you want to stay more, 25 minutes more? Keep going?
I'm gonna have to leave because I
Sure, I'm sorry. Okay, so at the end of this particular, the last same point, you must also speak out guarantees. You must have some guarantees. You must have 5 guarantees or 3. Can you guarantee your service? Can you guarantee the transformation of your service? Can you guarantee the outcome of your service? Yes or no?
Yes.
You cannot guarantee the outcome of your service.
No.
Because the outcome of your service is a function of how people will apply it. But what can I guarantee? My communication to the clients. When you send me an email, within 24 hours I will be there. The experience, when you came to this room, the room was tidy enough. It looks professional, that's right. There was no garbage on the ground, there was nothing. When you came here, you felt so welcome, so treated, that's right. You had a lifetime experience. So you can guarantee usually a lifetime experience, a one-of-its-kind experience. You don't guarantee the results. Sometimes you say, if you don't achieve results, I will give you one-on-one, because you don't want to give money back. However, in some occasion, we are forced to give money back, because you are also care about your reputation. So you need to consider having 3 to 5 guarantees minimum. And when you have them, it will come to a point, we'll talk about it later, do you need a PowerPoint presentation or not? I recommend for the offer, if you are not talented with the screen, with the flip chart, you must have a PowerPoint presentation, because it will relate better, especially in the beginning. Any questions here?
You said 3 to 5 minimum guarantee.
Yes.
So I got the 100% satisfaction guarantee, which means you can subjectively gauge that. Then you're going to have a one-of-a-kind experience.
And if the system will not work for you, I will give you one-on-one. Just tell me, and I will give you one-on-one.
That would be your remedy for failing to meet the guarantee. But what is the guarantee? What are different other?
I will guarantee that your transformation. I will guarantee that you will transform. You will change and you will become a better person. And if the system will not work for you, I will give you a one-on-one.
Okay, that's
Okay. You ask me about the US. In the US, you need much stronger guarantees, because in the US they guarantee the air percentage in the smoke. Okay, they guarantee everything. So if you are subject to sell in the US, you will see, and you go there and see, people will have more guarantees than anything else. They can guarantee everything. They guarantee everything, even life. People will not die. They can guarantee, which is for us doesn't make sense. Anyway, the last 2 things I want to highlight, actually there are 3 things. There is something we called, which we added, which is section 11.5. If I have this sweet offer, what will stop people from signing up with me? It's either objections And objections have two ways. There is objections from the stage, and there is objection from the on one-on-one. So if you do this presentation, you end up the presentation and you go walk by the door. There is a specific layout for the room, which we'll talk about it in section 14. So what are the objections and how you can overcome them? So first of all, can you throw in, can somebody throw in one or two objections for their clients?
Too expensive.
Too expensive?
Don't have time.
Don't have time? So times and dollars. And I will throw one more. Is not for me. Do you agree on these three objections? So how can I overcome from the stage? Two ways. In my testimonials, I can overcome this. You know what? I'm sharing here with you my client Donna. She suffered 1, 2, 3, 4, and when she wants to join, she thought about it. It's too expensive. However, when she came in, she found she saves more money. So you can softly address the objection testimonial. And then there is a most interesting way by having Q&A inside your offer. So exactly when we talk about 11.5, you can just start and say question and answers. Many of my clients, when I present this offer to them, they have the following questions. You know what? This program will not work for me. It works for everybody. And the number of cross coaches and cross trainers, we've proven it works for 53. Win Your Brand worked with 53 different coaches and consultants in 53 different fields. And across of all of the field, maybe 38 to 42 of them achieved what we promised, which means we are very highly successful in so many, and we work with business people, financial people, real estate agency, all this woo stuff like 6, 7 holistic
That's YouTube.
holistic approach. We work also with entrepreneurs. So when I was doing the statistics, it was very amazing. So you can use something of this language. You can say, question number 2, is this too much? Question number 3, can I afford this? And you start to put the Q&A. So the exercise which you should do at home is you should come up with the 5 objections and formulate them as Q&A within your offer. How you will find your objection? Go to your customers and your people who did not sign up for your program and say, why did you not sign for my program? Then there is the other one, which is the closing objection. So when I'm done with my presentation, I will say sign up now. When I say sign up now, my assistant for the room will come and put in front of each one, a signing sheet for people to fill, and I will write them, I will explain to them on the stage how to fill it. So when you have the signing sheet in their hands and they fill it and they come to the back of the room to deliver it, people will come and say, oh, you know what, I want to talk to my wife. I want to talk to my spouse, to keep it general, okay? I want to talk to my spouse. I want to talk to my family. How you overcome this objection? Do you allow them to talk to their spouse before signing? Why no?
They're gone from you.
Not because they are gone. Because we understand the triggers.
The emotions aren't with the spouse.
The relationship will be more, usually, I'm not racist, okay? I'm just 80% of the ladies are relationship related. 80% of the people of the men are process oriented. 80% of the ladies are heart driven. 80% of the men are logic driven. This is the nature of us. If you are lucky to be in an environment different, but if they go talk home, because if they don't have the 4 structures in their house, they will not be able to pay the credit card bills on time, and they will not know how to manage their financial to have a good relation with themselves. So in each household, you must have the 4. So the minute I will come to you and say, Jacqueline, you know, I saw this and it does make perfect sense. You will tell me, I don't feel about that. I don't like it. I don't feel it. I don't feel it makes sense. What do you mean? When you get logic talking to feelings, you will fail in the sales. That's why when you do the enrollment on the time sharing system, they have to bring you both of you. And the guy will speak each language to each one. And he will watch both of you, how you talk. And he will track. This is a complete different training system to be able to get when the two of them together. Because when you have the decision making feelings and the logic, it's not easy to moderate. But you can be trained for that if you want to. So when somebody come and say, I cannot sign up right now because I have to talk home, say, it's great. You know what? We have 3 days money back guaranteed. You can sign up. You will take all this folder, which means for every sign up, you must have a folder. Which means one of the guarantees is what? 3 days if you change your mind. Okay? And for me, I usually, when people sign up for my program, we don't charge their credit card before 1 month. We give them the first month for free. Because if you want to come for free for 1 month, take all the value, usually you will continue in the program. It doesn't matter. But you can understand now the logic why you need these guarantees, why you need to have the money back guaranteed, why you need to have the free trial, why you need to have the free sign up, to overcome rejections of closing. When somebody come and say, oh, I don't feel I should put my credit card here, people can steal it. What you will do for that? 2 ways. You either have a swiping machine, or you'll say, you know what, I will keep this safe so nobody else will see it. So your volunteers and the assistant in the event should not have the forms everywhere. If you notice, in the first break, I took all the material from here, put it back. Although there was no credit card here, it's just for people who sign up, they just need confirm contact information. But because I know people may be concerned when they have their emails out to everybody. So you have to understand this logic. You have to work on it proactively to move it forward. Any questions on objections? As I said, if you want to brainstorm on objections, write them, and you have a specific form on our Assess website, and you can do it. The last things, because I know somebody has to leave and I'm trying to provide as much as I can of value. What about the layout for the room? It has been found out that layout of the room may contribute up to 70% or more in people signing up for these events. How people,
70%.
or more, how people set, actually one of your friends, which I will not say his name, but it worked out as 100%, because when they changed the structure of the chairs, people could not access the registration table, people walk away and leave. Okay? I do have more structures, like I do have more details here, but I know the time will run away and we are now over time. So just to want to make sure you get a flavor out of it. You have to understand that there is a binary decision for all of your clients or audience. They either say yes or they say no. So every movement in the room must consider that. So the recommended rooms are rooms when you have chairs looking up front, and you have the registration table in the back, and you should have one door only open, and the stage will be in the front. You can still get people in from so many doors. You can get them from every door. However, when they leave the room, they must go through
The registration desk.
one door. So at the end of your presentation, what you will say, here is my offer, I encourage you to sign up, you have the form in your hand, write down the information, I get you through, and I will be in the back to answer any of your questions, to receive your registration and answer your questions. Otherwise, if you don't have questions, hand it to Tracy in the back. And you go stand here. So what's your job when you stand here?
Answer questions.
Shake
No.
it down.
No?
Shake him down.
To make eye contact with everybody moving out. So they will come back and sign up to you.
Shame on you.
So you don't answer questions with elaboration, because guess what? If 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people having questions, and I'm here and I'm answering questions for like 10 minutes, will you stand on your feet, on your heel after 90-minute presentation for 10 minutes? You have to understand this logic. So when people come and ask, you have to be like hit and run, hit and run, hit and run. You don't spend too much time addressing concern, because if she is not convinced, maybe the one after her, if she's not tired, he will be convinced, maybe one. So you should do it in a way. And this is why it's very important that these people will go to the back in a clear way. They have clear pathways to the back, and you have the tables in the back. And your people will be standing here if you have assistant. And your assistant in the room must not be your spouse, must not be your friend. Why?
She will not engage in chatting with him.
What else? Most important, she is not trained on objections. So I share with you a few objections. It's too expensive, it's great, but if you stay right now, you will lose more money and you'll be in more pain. So you cannot make, so this is not a cost for you, this is an investment for you. You want to talk to your family? It's great. Sign up now. And this stuff it does take training to do it. So this is a little bit on how we can have. I have here some layouts. The one which is I personally like are the theater seating and the cabaret kind of style, which is half table full. Classroom is okay too. However, classroom, you have the table blockage between you and the audience. So people don't like that. We use classroom in a different way, if you would like. The tables which you have sitting, which people are not watching you, are sideways, like boardroom, U-shape, and banquet. These are not selling format, because people will not connect with you. And it's up to you to which one you want to use. Any questions?
Just repeat that while again about the shapes. Which shapes is good for this one?
The first column, the theater or the cabaret, not the classroom. But the theater is the most economical one. So having it, if we want to try this one here, and say, okay, here is the signing sheet, I will meet you at the door. What will happen? I will compete against them to stand by the door. So if this will happen here, the door will be like that, and I will stand here, and I will answer questions. So anybody is coming out, he will come through a close contact. Why you not sign? You raise your hand in the testimonial. You raise your hand in the story. You are here, you need this technology. Why you are not signing? Do you get it, guys? Did you get this? And don't tell me this is a pressure selling, because it is not a pressure sales. You are trying to sustain your business. Final thoughts I have on lighting. You can consider microphones or no microphone. I prefer microphones, because when you are in a bigger room, it's very hard for people to hear all the tones. So microphone is a must in a bigger room. Slides or flip chart, you can use slides as an assist. However, flip chart will show you more interactive. So when we do our 3 days selling workshops, we use both. I use flip chart and both things. You support the staff, they need to be trained, and not your friends, not your son, not your daughter, not your spouse, not your boyfriend, not your girlfriend. And even so, if they are so, don't identify them as this. Call them business partner. Because people are not coming to buy from a family business. People come to buy from a professional business. And every time we say, if you need support staff, let us know, because many of us, as my partner or myself, we usually have access, and sometimes we love to come give you support, at least give you feedback, so we can actually act as your extended sales people over there. You must have a clock in front of you. I have my clock here on my computer, so I can know what time. And when you go through the layout, don't be silly on the second.
Copyright 2017 Win Your Brand. All rights reserved. This video is subject to copyright owned by Win Your Brand. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this video is expressly prohibited, unless Win Your Brand has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.